Hello. Today we're going to talk about how we define business analytics. Um, Inside the playlist, there is this short video from IBM, and it talks about business analytics turning data into insight. I would ask that you take the opportunity and watch this video prior to this particular lecture if you haven't done so already. The key component here is that data is everywhere, and it's our responsibility as business people to be able to take that data and to convert it into something useful to make decisions. So there's a lot of people that have different definitions of what business analytics is. For this course and for moving forward, we want to use this definition, and that definition is that business analytics is the scientific process of transforming data into this insight for making better decisions. So if you recall in the previous lecture, I showed you an icon of a gas gauge showing empty. It was so simple and so obvious that when you see this symbol of empty on your gas gauge, that you need to make a decision to get fuel. We want all complex decisions to be simplified in this manner so that way we can make better decisions. However, not all of the data is as easily transformable to be able to make it this simple, but it's our ideal situation. So we have a lot of tools to be able to make our decision makings easier. Of course, we want to get insights from data. With the data, we want to create accurate forecasts, identify risks, and also look at better ways of making our business more efficient and optimize it for greater profits. So there's three main areas or categories of data analytics, and we'll talk about them briefly today. And you should know each of these three. So the first is descriptive analytics. For the good part of this course, you're going to be doing a lot of descriptive analytics techniques. Basically, descriptive analytics is simply describing our data and also summarizing it in a way that makes sense for decision makers. Now, you've heard the term before, garbage in, garbage out. When you apply descriptive analytics to your data, and as you learn to interpret those descriptive analytics, you can determine whether your data coming in is garbage or if it's good. And we'll get into that more when we deal with our data analytics project. Once our descriptives are complete, we can visualize the data using dashboards, charts, etc. And at this point in time, after our descriptives are complete, we can apply some data mining techniques and start to conduct some what-if analysis. We will touch briefly on data dashboards. Dashboards are a great way of being able to summarize all of our data into one simple location. A lot of times dashboards, you can think about it as the dashboard of your vehicle. You have a lot of information available for you. You have the speed that you're going, the RPMs of your engine, and of course, what level your gas tank is at. So a lot of managers like to use dashboards to summarize data, and then if there's an issue, they can use dashboards or other data repositories to be able to dig deeper into that data. The key component of a dashboard is to summarize the data. Data mining is a technique that's used to apply some algorithms to help identify patterns. Now, typically data mining is really more into the predictive analytics and less of the descriptive analytics. However, there are some data mining techniques that can be applied in the descriptive analytics area. And those are the ideas of cluster analysis, which in cluster analysis, we identify groups of people that might be similar. And also sentiment analysis. If you apply sentiment analysis to text found on social media, you usually can find out people's opinions about products about people, celebrities, or other happenings that's going on in the social media space. Predictive analytics is a second category, and basically this is what it sounds like. We're trying to predict what will happen based on certain models that we use and the available data. A very common example of predictive analytics would be a forecast for our weather report. Many of you may get on your phone and look for what the weather is going to be today. Look to see if it's going to rain, if it's going to be sunny. Should you bring a coat? Should you bring an umbrella? Or should you just pack light? Also, businesses use forecasting of consumer behavior to determine what they're going to do next. This helps them plan their resources, figure out logistical needs, if they need to increase the inventories in their warehouses so that way they can offer their products when this demand goes up, or do they reduce the amount of inventory in their warehouses because demand is going down. So this is a matter of using the data that's available, usually historical data, to predict what the future holds. A lot of techniques that are used is linear regression, time series analysis. Some data mining techniques often are applied in this area, including simulation. Simulation usually applies a lot of statistical tools with probability statistics to be able to determine what the result will be based on certain decisions. Prescriptive analytics is really a tool that's used to be able to determine what you should do, or it makes a prescription as to what your next move should be. Not only does it give you some kind of like prediction what would happen if you make certain decisions, but it actually makes the decision for you. So if you follow the guidance given, like that of a prescription from a doctor, the idea would be that you would come out based on the results of the model. A good example of this is if people want to make a product with their given resources. So let's say that they have a limited supply of raw materials, and they want to use this raw material to maximize their production. And they can make one of 3 different products, but each product has a different profit margin. So a prescriptive analytics tool will be able to tell them which product to build based on current demand to maximize their profits. A lot of this is based on rules, and those rules sometimes need to be changed. So not all prescriptive analytics models are accurate. So a lot of times people will determine the accuracy of a model in order to be able to make an idea about what the prescription should be. Here are some other prescriptive analytic optimization models, and you can read through this on your own. Keep in mind all of these PowerPoints should be available to you through your As You Learn account. Also, there's simulation analysis. So a lot of times people might talk about Monte Carlo simulations, which is simply a tool that will make use of probabilities to be able to determine what the outcomes will be of certain situations. This helps to develop an optimum strategy, so that way if the decision maker has to determine if there's several alternatives to choose from, which is going to reduce the risk, what is going to create the best benefit, and or other factors that might be applied. So that is the end of this particular lecture. It's relatively short, and thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.